Folks, in today's video, I want to take a deeper dive into if a fanless M5 MacBook Air can replace a dedicated gaming laptop. And in this case, we got the Zephyrus G14 2025 edition, last year's model, because frankly, RAM apocalypse is getting out of hand here. Like literally 16 gigabyte version of the 2026 is $3,000, but I picked this up at Best Buy. It's been on sale. It's not the lowest it's been, but you can get this now at $15.99. Actually, it only comes with 16 gigabytes RAM, but a dedicated 5060. And I want to see if kind of that dedicated graphics card beats out the M5, and also how it does, because in my previous videos I've been testing out the Panther Lake. So I just wanted to kind of give you the three tiers of what you could get at around the $1,000 to $2,000 price range, and we're going to be comparing it to the M5 Mac. And let's get right into some of the stuff you'll see in this video. So basically what to expect is, if you've been following, I've had a change of heart turnaround, which I've been doing full benchmark testing. I've made logging programs with the help of Claude and AI tools, testing out power profiles, FPS at 1% FPS drops. I got I don't even know where it is, somewhere here. I got this camera. We'll be showcasing some of the heat IR. So yeah, that's what to expect in this video, but let's just get right into some of the graphs and information you need to know. Let's start with the specs of the G14. So in 2021, you may have seen some of my old videos like 5 years ago. I had the G15, took it everywhere. It was a pretty good laptop. Now my brother has it. Actually, in my time, I was doing a road trip across the country, and my wife, I was literally working out of a closet because we were both working remote, had to take calls, and I left my laptop, that G15, in the closet where the table was, and my wife like took a shower and then like left a loofah hanging, and it like dripped on the camera, or dripped on the laptop, but it still worked, and I still used it with like a half screen. But nowadays things are much better for me. I have so many laptops, you guys have seen in some of my videos, but this device now, I like how the design is. It looks more sleeker to the M5, or like MacBooks in general. You could see here the slash, kind of minimalist gaming design. You could turn it off if you want to. I did think that 2021 version also was like kind of, I did take it to work, and not that many people were like, oh, you have a gaming laptop. There was one time I took the Legion. I was at a workshop and they're like, oh, you buy gaming laptops. Nice design. You get the ports here, USB, USB-C, HDMI, micro mini SD. Can't even speak, sorry folks. But yeah, I actually kind of like that the 120 hertz display is this device even on, showcasing, and then we'll take a look at some of the fan profiles. I do like the kind of keyboard chiclet design, but overall, from like a feel perspective, I think I have a bias towards it, because for like 5 years in 2021 I had the G15, so I've been testing like MacBooks and other laptops. I've gotten used to the Legion, but this one or at least the G15 version, have had for a while. So guys, I wanted to make a section. Actually, if you travel here, if this is kind of, obviously laptop, portable gaming laptop. Some people just have it on a desk and travel occasionally. Some people are on the go. I was like on a road trip, traveling Italy, stuff like that. I wanted to showcase the G14 power brick on its own is 374 grams. If we take a look at, if you decided to go with Panther Lake and saw some of my videos there, that MSI charger is 65 watts to 122. And then of course the M5 Air USB-C charging, very portable, very small, fits in the bag, barely moves the scale. And basically what kind of the trade-off here is, what's acceptable performance when traveling and weight versus price. But then also, something about the Mac is you don't get some of the stutters or lags that you may get when doing Windows, especially with Optimus, DGPU and iGPU trying to interact together. So just something to call out there. So as always, the trade-off in gaming laptops, and if you decide to go with a MacBook or M5 Air, is you're literally gonna have zero fan noise with the M5 versus what you could get with the G14. Just know that if you do go up to turbo to get the maximum gaming, you actually have the option to at least trade performance for decibels, but if you use headphones, that should be fine. And there is silent mode, which actually turns off fans and lowers the profile, either on the dedicated graphics or the integrated graphics, which are still capable for some games, but you'll definitely see that you get quite a boost with the 56. So let's just talk about gaming graphics. I got a whole bench here, so let's just show the B-roll. Let's do it. So with Final Fantasy 14, the bench score of G14 was 12,000, around 90 FPS. Well, actually the M5 Air, when I was testing it, was 85 FPS at almost the same score, 11,966. My Legion 480, interesting, 87 FPS. The MSI Arc, which is the Panther Lake, hit at 8,000. And then we can take a look at kind of what we see here and some of these ideas. Black Myth Wukong has a benchmark tool, and I do actually have the game, but I just, for this test, I was using the benchmark tool. At 2880 by 1800. Black Myth Wukong at 125 FPS, while the Arc Panther Lake 63 M5 Air on crossover, which runs D3D Metal, was 36. Grand Theft Auto 5 Enhanced G14 lands at 152 frames a second, while the M5 Air only manages 43. That's 3.5 times faster, and it's the clearest gap of any game I ran. Spider-Man Remastered 78, Acer 63, MSI 63. We can take a look at Cyberpunk 2027, how its native version of the game runs. So this is kind of the best performance you could get on the M5 or MacBooks running games that run native, which means they don't use Rosetta 2. We'd see how it compares against the Windows version of the 5060, pushing DLSS and FrameGen, easily clearing 80 FPS on the G14's 120Hz OLED monitor. The bread and butter of the game I played, Dota 2, I've finally nailed down why we have some of the lag in the M5, which I've been talking about for a while. There's an 18-minute replay that I've been rerunning. FPS on crossovers 140, G4 112, MSI 106. So the number that always matters isn't always the average. What we're going to take a look at is the floor, the 1% low average, because that's the stutter you could actually feel. G14 holds that at 82, while the M5 on crossovers drops to 32. I did do a video you can check out on how crossovers are improve some of that performance, but I'd always talked about how the lowest presets is what I need to run on MacBooks, and even then still feeling laggy. So just something to consider there when playing Macs. Don't prioritize having the best gaming experience, but the overall package with the plus added benefits of now being able to game. Quick coffee break. League of Legends is in the process, I believe, of transforming their game to be native. You get a pop-up when you play League of Legends. I made a crossover versus FEX video you can check out on my YouTube channel. But essentially, I think that their launcher is still Intel, but their game is going native, so you can check out on the activity monitor. Both games can hit 120 frames per second. The MacBook, of course, only the M5 Air, only has 60 frames per second refresh rate. But we could see that some of the ideas here is that if you go above, you could have a frame rate generation limit. If you go above 120, obviously some of the SKUs that the MacBook then has to throw away the frames that it generates to process on the 60 FPS screen. So I'm going to dive deeper into what that means for performance. But from my perspective, I think the only thing impacting the Macs right now is getting used to a mouse. So I use the linear mouse that I installed, and I've been researching, scouring the internet of like, I typically first thought that you didn't need linear mouse acceleration, but I actually have gotten used to playing with enhanced pointer, so I do play with mouse acceleration on Windows. So I've been trying to tweak and tune there, but obviously I think still the main game, only game I truly really play or care about is Dota 2, and some of the mouse and some of the lag makes me prefer playing on any Windows gaming laptop I have. Even Panther Lake with the iGPU is kind of my preference. So on the G14, with the 5060, FrameGen generates 130-60 frames per second with a crisp 17.2 millisecond click response. I did test out on the G14 actually going all the way up to 5x FrameGen. I did think that once you go 3x and above, this is something I've never had before. I only have the 4080, so I can only 2x. The 5000 series lets you go above, but actually once you get around 3x, 4x, 5x, I did actually start noticing the input lag of my mouse and trying to target heroes. So we can take a look at that in some of this footage I'm showcasing. So look, if you like sleek designs, I think the Zephyrus is kind of the best design. Even though it's thin and light profile, you still get that dedicated graphics card, which bumps you up to kind of having some of the things you get advantage of: DLSS, good frames, good high 1% lows that aren't kind of causing lag. I did think that the camera was kind of bad. I have heard or started researching that actually the last year's version of 2025, the one that has the 5070 Ti, which is somehow now, as prices have gone up, you could get it for $2,700, which seems wild to me for like a last year device, but that's where things are heading. I think that one got an upgraded chassis, so better cooling, better webcam, I think. Don't quote me on that, but the version I have here is the 5060 with 16 gigabytes RAM. As I showcased in the Acer MSI video, 16 gigabytes RAM didn't have too much impact in gaming. It's more of, even in the Panther Lake, it was more of the heat distribution and thermal that helped Acer kind of win out in games. Showcasing here some of the Puget Bench benchmarks. You could see here how it performs. You basically have pretty good performance with NVIDIA CUDA acceleration. So if you just want an overall device that just kind of works, and this is what people always talk about with MacBooks. If you're not gaming or not super, if you're a casual gamer, get the MacBook. Especially this M5 does really well at the price point it is. I'm testing a 32 gigabyte model, but people get away with the 16 gigabyte model, and I do have the upgraded CPU. But for example, when you're on the Zephyrus G14, you can see when you plug in or play some games or do some things, see even here in the time of recording this video, it already went to hibernate sleep instead of, so it kind of actually turned off and then has to like reboot. Whereas M5s, you close the lid, like kind of that thing that one guy did where you close the lid and instantly opens. It's like any Windows machine, except for the Windows R machines, they don't do that. They always close and they always go to sleep. This thing has an Optimus. When you play Optimus, it decides which graphics cards to use, but it kind of causes lag actually when you do Alt-Tab. Or not lag, it causes like screen weirdness because it needs to know like what to start rendering on the screen. So like let's say if you're Alt-Tabbing in Dota 2 between your Dead or League of Legends, you'll get like a little image frame that finds what the actual GPU is. It's hard to explain, but basically it's not as smooth as like, if you just had the Panther Lake or you just had a machine that didn't have Optimus, sometimes you just can multitask. So really like some of the things that if they irk you of having a machine like that is just something to consider.